You might not help out anyone for their sake, but if it would benefit you, you might decide to assist someone.
Mr. Wright, it appears you were positively determined to betray the chief as a nice man who likes to lend people a hand.
That's not what I mean.
Very well, then. Who is this person you believe Chief Gant may have helped forge evidence? Chief Prosecutor Lana Skye, the defendant.
I believe it's quite obvious in the light of the circumstances. Emma Skye fell victim to an unfortunate series of events. Who would want to help her more than her own sister, Lana? And as for Chief Gant, he would also have a reason to help Lana if she asked him to. That reason, of course, is self-profit.
Self-profit? What do you mean?
After the SL9 incident was resolved, Lana Skye was appointed chief prosecutor at the prosecutor's office. The person who arranged this job change was you, Chief Gant.
But how would he profit from that?
He would be able to use the chief prosecutor as his puppet. Essentially, he would acquire unchecked authority over all investigations.
Do you mean to tell me that despite the chief's formidable appearance, he plays with puppets? Oh, wait. You must mean puppet as in someone being forced to do his bidding. Never mind.
Admit it, Chief! You assisted Lana Skye in forging evidence. Your motive to appoint her as chief prosecutor so you could control her.
Righto, my boy. You have quite an imagination. Let me ask you something.
What?
Do you have any proof of this? That I controlled Lana? For example, is Lana testifying that I've done such a thing?
Lana? She's keeping quiet to protect Emma. There's no way she'd testify against Gant.
I'm afraid without any proof, this all amounts to nothing more than mere conjecture.
Unless that is also what happened in this incident.
This incident? Which one would that be?
Of course, I'm talking about the murder of Detective Bruce Goodman. The chief prosecutor has been acting strange throughout this entire trial. Almost as if someone has been controlling her.
Worthy, you'd better watch your tongue. I wouldn't want you to get hurt.
What do you mean?
What he means, Your Honor, is that Chief Gant is involved in the murder of Detective Goodman. Not only that, but the Chief is now making Lana take the rap to cover for his involvement. What?
Sounds like he's opening to a hip-hop music video.
Order! 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 A save! Order! Mr. Wright! Can't be serious!
Huh?
This is an affront to the highest ranking officer in our law enforcement agency. To accuse the chief of police of blackmail and murder. It's impossible!
Your Honor, I was merely reiterating what Mr. Edgeworth said in easier to understand language.
It's too late, Mr. Wright. There's no turning back for us now.
It looks like he's the one who's decided to go through with this.
Can you prove this, Mr. Wright? That the chief, a high-ranking officer of the law, is involved in this murder?
Good question.
Regardless of his rank or title, Chief Gant is just a man. The question is he a criminal? I believe the evidence will tell.
I see. All right then. Let's see what Mr. Wright's got, and it better be good. Show us the evidence that ties Chief Gant to the murder of Detective Goodman.
I always at least let you get it wrong once first before I give you a hint.
Well, Chief,
So long as Wright out here is tossing out things regardless of their evidence or relevance, mind if I toss something too, Udgy? This shoe should do nicely. I'll chuck it right at you.
you always were quite the joker, weren't you?
Oops. Looks like I got it wrong.
Don't oops me. Maybe this boot to the head will knock some sense into you. Was that a reference to the meme?
I don't know. I know it's hard with all that's gone on during this trial.
It's definitely a reference to the meme.
I feel like it was happening. When did the meme come out?
It was pretty old. I remember it
They
coming out
might-
when we were
Older
kids.
in this case?
They might have rewrote. Because they retranslated the games, so they might have rewrote that dialogue for the Switch version.
They might have.
But I don't know for sure. Anyway, I'll try to think back what happened in the evidence room 4 days ago.
Now that he mentions it, we did find something during yesterday's investigation. Something that proves Gant entered that room.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. I guess Edgeworth kind of spelled it for us.
I see. Alright then. Let's see what Mr. Wright's caught. This time it better actually be good.
I just think that was too hard. Well, it's kind of vague.
That is the ID card list.
Yes, the one that shows who entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. There was one ID on the list we couldn't determine the owner of yesterday. 777 777 7.
Sorry, but there's no way you can prove that's my card number.
It's your number.
What? How do you know that?
The safe in Chief Gant's office requires a code to open. A 7-digit code.
7 digits. You don't mean...
I'm afraid so, Your Honor. The code was 777 777 7. The same as the remaining ID card number on that list. Chief Gant, you entered the evidence room on the day of the crime!
Order! Order! Chief Gant, what do you have to say?
Nothing. The defense's search of my office was in violation of my regulations.
And I will demand that Mr. Wright be punished to the maximum extent of the law.
His regulations. He's like now the law.
I am the law. But right now, this court demands an explanation from you about the use of this ID card.
Chief Gant, so you admit it. You entered the evidence room on the day of the crime.
What about it? I'm chief of police, whether it's the evidence room or the bathroom. What's the difference? I can go anywhere I want.
Tell me, when you entered the room, were you alone?
I always go to the bathroom alone, as I do with the evidence room.
Detective Goodman wouldn't have happened to be with you that day, would he?
Of course not. Why would he be? I hadn't seen him in days.
You hadn't seen him in days, Chief Gant. I'm afraid you've just undone yourself. On that day, you had to have met with Detective Goodman.
What do you mean? This trial's purpose is to determine Lana Skye's guilt.
No, it isn't, Your Honor. This trial's purpose is to determine the truth. If Chief Gant met the victim on the day of the crime, then we need to determine one thing. What transpired during that meeting?
In that case, Mr. Wright, I'm gonna have to ask you for evidence. Show us the proof that the victim went to meet Chief Gant during that day of the crime.
Detective Goodman lost his ID card on that day of the crime.
Or, to be more accurate, Jake Marshall stole it.
Detective Goodman filled out a lost item report. He would have had to have given that report to the chief of police.
Yet, you are in possession of that report, which means you can't be sure if he filled it.
He filled it, filed it. How do you know? How do I know, you ask? Because he needed it to enter your evidence room that day.
Gant's evidence room.
Yes, to transfer the evidence out.
The entire department is Gant's department.
He really is Emperor Palpatine.
Oh?
Detective Goodman took the form to you, Chief Gant. Then, you accompanied the detective to the evidence room.
I accompanied him?
There's no other way the murderer and the Detective Goodman could have entered the room.
Hold on. Let me guess what you're gonna say next. I, the chief of police, murdered poor Goodman.
Exactly.
But wait! The chief didn't necessarily need to accompany him to the evidence room. Could have just lent him his ID card.
Yes. Now that you mention it, I believe I might have done something of the sort.
Sorry, but that's not possible. According to the record, your card was only used once. Yet you showed us your ID card earlier. If you had really lent it to Detective Goodman, it would have been found on his body.
No!
Chief Gant, you did it!
The murder was most likely a spur-of-the-moment crime, for no one in the right mind would choose the police department as the place to commit murder. After the murder, you contacted Lana Skye at the prosecutor's office. Why? To dispose of Detective Goodman's body, of course.
You're forgetting, Mr. Wright, that the victim's body was discovered in the prosecutor's office parking lot. How did he manage to move it there?
I was at the police department the entire day, you know.
And everyone's aware that Lana stayed at the prosecutor's office after the ceremony.
Everyone except me, it seems. See, I was the one who helped to move the body.
What?
Still, what if Phoenix Wright just lied instead to save Lana? He throws himself in prison.
That would be extreme dedication.
He just makes sure he gets the not guilty verdict no matter what.
Still, you're the chief of police. You have the entire police force at your disposal.
Oh, so you just think I ordered an officer to do it? Hey, you! Take this here dead body over to the prosecutor's office. Huh, I don't think so.
Chief Gant, you left all the evidence we need to prove how you moved the body to the prosecutor's office. All this time, I thought it was just a useless clue, just taking up space.
How could the chief remove the body? Mr. Wright, show us this evidence.
To move the victim's body, Chief Gant used this. The body, wasn't it?
Maybe the screwdriver? Because he had...
He says in the script.
Because he had Edgeworth get something like with the screwdriver. And while he was there, he went out and put the thing in his car.
This is how he moved the detective's Goodman's body!
What's that? A screwdriver? But what does that have to do with this case?
Mr. Edgeworth, think back to the day of the crime. What is the screwdriver doing here?
It's here because... aha! I was asked to go by Chief Gant, no less. He told me he wanted me to keep it here in the prosecutor's office.
Wait, how did he... Did he just take it while Edgeworth wasn't looking?
Take
or did
what?
just Edgeworth just let him take it for some
Oh, the
reason?
screwdriver?
Well, what Phoenix has is actually a powerful replica of the screwdriver that he made on the spot out of paper. In any case, on the day of the stabbings, I brought this back here. I don't remember that long a pause. After the ceremony ended that day, I didn't plan to return to the prosecutor's office.
But you did, because Chief Gant asked you to.
You mean I...
The body was found in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. I think it's obvious what happened. The body was moved by that car.
Detective Goodman's body was carried in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car.
Yes, unless of course you have another explanation, Chief. Why else would you have asked Mr. Edgeworth to transport evidence from a closed case? There's only one plausible explanation. Transport the body to your accomplice, Miss Lana Skye.
Order! 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 What's going on in here?
I would love to sit in the audience of a court proceeding and just whenever something happens, go to tilt my head back and forth.
Is there no room for rebuttal to the defense's outrageous accusations?
Think back to the photograph Miss Starr took at the prosecutor's office. This was not. This was a not.
Spit it out, Wright.
This was a not a photo of the body being stuffed in the trunk to be taken away.
I think there's a typo in the developer's end there.
It was exactly the opposite.
Use Google Translate for the dialogue.
It is a photo of the body being taken from the trunk.
Chief Gant, please say something.
I believe your time's up.
My time's up.
Sorry, Righto, but I'm having lunch with the District Attorney General after this. We have to get going if we're to make it in time for the early bird special.
But the cross-examination isn't finished yet.
Remember what I told you earlier? A police chief has all kinds of weapons at its disposal,
Weapons?
like the right to refuse to testify. I'm invoking that right now.
What? This is not a right to be casually invoked. There are certain risks to be considered.
So you're going to just run away after all this?
Run away? Don't make me laugh, Worthy. I stabbed old Goodman. That's what you're saying, right? But if you had any conclusive evidence, you would have presented it by now.
Well,
You think I had Lana dispose of the body? If so, then show your proof and get it over with.
I'll say it again, Mr. Wright. Damon Gant is the current chief of police.
Didn't even get asked anything, just saved.
This court will not tolerate any accusations against him without concrete proof. Well, Mr. Wright,
Your Honor?
do you have any concrete proof? Proof that Chief Gant murdered Detective Goodman and made Miss Skye dispose of his body?
Do I have any concrete proof? I can't let him just storm his way out of this. I've got to keep the pressure on. Yes, Your Honor, I do have such evidence.
Then please hurry up and present it. Just remember, it better prove Chief Gant murdered Detective Goodman beyond a shadow of a doubt.
This time I'm completely positive. It's I thought for sure that was right.
You should never be afraid to consider that maybe you don't have evidence.
I was complete. I proved it twice over. I should be the defense attorney, not Phoenix.
I don't think that connects directly to him.
But it proves that it was in the evidence room, and who else could it be in the evidence room? Unless you're saying it's Edgeworth. Which, that's always a theory.
Yeah, but there's
Goodman.
a lot of stuff that could have happened between.
It's suicide.
He could have taken the knife. Who knows why? And then
Got killed by what's it?
Oh, yeah. Maybe.
Take
Why would he
water.
steal Edgeworth's car?
who knows with that stuff?
Or maybe.
You can't.
Well, it just coincidentally
All
they
those
both
are just-
arrived.
The point is, Gant's trying to say there's not strong enough evidence that he did it,
Yeah.
regardless of
You
arrest.
can't consider what other stuff might have happened, like why he was in the car and all that. You could probably just load it. 'Cause you're only down to one life now.
So you want to live on the edge?
I'll just live on the edge of glory. It's no use showing evidence I'm not even sure of myself.
Myself?
No, Your Honor. At present, I have no conclusive evidence.
See, Aji?
In that case, this court is forced to penalize you for your allegations against the chief.
What?
Here's a tip. Never gamble what you can't afford to lose, righto. It seems that Lady Luck was on my side again today. Okay, Aji, I'll leave the rest to you.
I warned you earlier, Mr. Wright. This is an affront to a senior officer in our nation's law enforcement agency.
What?
Lady Luck. Maybe we should have a word with her.
Mr. Edgeworth, what do you mean?
There's one lady who knows the real truth behind this trial. We haven't yet had the honor of hearing her testimony.
A lady who knows the truth? Another witness?
In the absence of conclusive evidence, the only other method of proof is testimony.
But Chief Gant has invoked his right to refuse to testify.
There's still someone else, one more witness who can answer all the questions raised in this trial, someone right in this very room.
Mr. Edgeworth, who is this person?
Why are you asking me, Your Honor? Have you forgotten? The defense is the one calling witnesses today.
Mr. Wright, does such a witness exist?
You may not be willing to tell the truth. I am living right on the edge. So I gotta say. So I'm reload way back. But we can't just stop now! Yes, Your Honor. The defense calls forth.
Good men, good men, good men, good men!
Oh my. Well, it's just.
I thought we were walking the same path together, Mr. Wright. It appears somewhere along the way you got lost.
You'd better find your way back, Mr. Wright, or you'll be left behind. That's enough. The court sees no further reason to prolong this trial. The defense has failed. This court finds the defendant, Miss Lana Skye, and Phoenix Wright guilty.
The judge just got impatient.
The accused will surrender to the court immediately. To be held for pending trial or higher court within a month or something. That's all. I'm gonna eat lunch now.
Edgeworth feel.
Phoenix just looks like he lost it. He says, I call Agent Goodman to the stand!
And then Edward spends the rest of his life trying to figure out what really went on behind that trial. The way Jake Marshall did.
Alright. But we can't just stop now! Yes, Your Honor! The defense draws forth!
The defendant, Miss Lana Skye?
She was in the underground parking lot at 5:15 p.m. on February 21st. Her task, to dispose of the victim's body. In accordance with a certain someone's orders.
Mr. Edgeworth?
The prosecution has no objections, Your Honor.
Very well. The court will now take its final recess for the day. In 15 minutes we will reconvene to hear the defendant's testimony. This court is now in
Hold on.
Huh? Chief Gant, I thought you were going to eat.
Did you have something in your throat, Chief?
He was choking on a piece of steak.
Well, listen good, Lana.
He's talking to Lana.
I don't think you'll need me to tell you this, but if you accept Mr. Wright's claims, there will be terrible consequences. That's right. Your sister will be found guilty for Neil Marshall's murder.
This isn't good.
Of course, you'd never support such outrageous claims anyway, right? Just something to think about. I'm gonna go finish my steak now. Bye! Hot dog!
Okay.
It was actually in his dialogue for once.
If there aren't any further objections, this court is now in recess.
February 25th, 2:04 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby, number 2.
Looks like we managed to stay in the game.
Yeah, thanks to your help, Edgeworth.
That chief, he's something else, eh, pals?
Detective Gumshoe!
I'm not a detective anymore.
Oh yeah, sorry about that.
Don't worry. I've already decided where to work now. At your office.
My office?
Sure. I'll take the place of that top-knotted girl you used to work with.
Did you mean Maya?
Still, looks like we're all out of moves now. Chief Gant's done it again. How's he always getting the upper hand?
It's not fair that he has the right to refuse to testify.
Settle down, Wright. Remember what the judge said?
But, Chief, that's not a right to be casually invoked. There are certain risks to be considered.
Wrists? What do you mean by that?
It's simple. If the chief refuses to testify, the opposite also holds true.
You mind if you here to testify too?
Emma! Are you okay?
Yeah, when all came to was in the medical office. I've been listening to the truth from the Gila, right?
She heard everything that's going on. Emma, I'm sorry for what I said before.
No, you mate, it was the truth. You knew it's funny, I must feel somehow relieved.
Relieved?
Yeah, you I found to know what really happened. Do you think all this time my sister was being blackmailed by that terrible man? And she did it all just to protect me?
Ever since her appointment as chief prosecutor, everyone who knew her said she changed. Perhaps it was easier that way for her. What do you mean? What do you think I mean? To follow Chief Gant's orders. She must have shut herself up deep inside to force herself to do anything and everything the chief told her to do.
That must be why she became so cold.
It was all my fault. It's all because I murdered Mr. Marshall.
Hey, don't go blaming yourself now. If you want to blame anyone, blame society, pal.
Chief Gant may be able to fool everyone else with his forgery, but he can't fool my memory. I remember now. I knocked Mr. Marshall into that armor.
I see.
Well, we'd better get back. It's time for the final act.
Emma, why don't you wait here?
No, I'm a-going with you. I want to be there when Lana tells the truth.
Let's go, Wright. It's time to end this.
To be